I spent 25 years building the greatest apocalyptic city I can, while surviving famine, drought, and deadly toxic floods. Can I make my small group of beavers the inheritors of Earth? Or will my literal incompetence doom the city before its time? Let's find out. And we have landed on the island with our industrious beavers. The droughts are coming and they are deadly, so first things first, we'll be needing 2 gatherers in the north to gather blueberries. They're required for food and breeding purposes. 3 lumberjack flags in the south because we need huge amounts of trees. We must expand fast or we'll die. The wood must then be used for 2 storages to get blueberries to have significant amount. It takes 12 days for each bush to give us 3 berries. With those planned, we now need lots and lots of water. So we'll get as many of these down as we possibly can because water is literally our future. With 4 deep water pumps we should be okay, but we now need an awful lot of small tanks for water storage. The drought will completely and totally destroy us if we're not prepared. With the extreme basics now prepared, the most important thing will be the inventor. We need science to start doing things. Without science we can't progress. We will be needing to make planks, but without science we don't have access to staircases to get off this island into the water below. We don't have access to levees to seal off an area, which we'll definitely need to do. And we won't have access to the forester who plants trees and bushes, because trust me, these bushes will die and we need more of them. With all of those set down, we can now put down the breeding pods. Yes, we quite literally breed our people in pods. Due to my people needing to sleep for 8 hours at night, I've changed my mind and made them work for 20 hours every day. So only 4 hours of sleep for the first few days. They may hate me, but this is for their future and for them to actually have one. Priorities will always be on the deep water pumps and anything foodie. We need them to always be highest priority, so food and water flows. With all of that going on, the next stage is to go over to this island over here. Yes, there's a lot of islands, and start setting up farming. Without the farmhouses, we are guaranteed to die a lot faster than I'd like to admit to. 2 farmhouses will be put down. 1 will be always planting, and 1 will always be digging up food. We're building it over here because when this area empties out, there'll still be a pool of water allowing my plants to live. A lot of food will be planted here. And also, very importantly, berry bushes will be planted here. But again, we need 60 research for the forester to plant them. So as you can see, getting berries continuously growing is a big thing. Finally, at the tail end of day 3, it looks like 2 of the 3 breeding pods are now active, which is good. We have access to a small amount of water, which is great. And my people have finally got research online. With this, we can get the forester up and running and get berries. But a forester now needs planks, and planks need power. For power, we need a compact water wheel, which is only 25 logs, or 100 logs, and power it by beavers. We're going to put these down and hope that the river doesn't screw us over. Looking at the actual flow here, it looks like we can put one down here. Now, I haven't played this map very much, so I may be already dooming us. We'll find out in the future. Over on the other island, we're putting down some kohlrabis, which are one of the easier plants to grow. We have a load more trees we can cut down. But with the farmhouse up and running, 2 of our 4 children growing up, and the breeding pod slowly but surely making people, we should have enough children to replace the elderly when they die, and very slowly increase our population. For the first few years, we don't want too many beavers, because we can barely look after that many beavers. Day 6 has rolled around and I've zoomed out, and this is what our little empire looks like. We have some people working the farmhouses, we have very little everything else. It's time to start gathering as many trees as possible, and also, sadly, begin production of planks. The wheel will be built here next to the edge, connected to a power shaft, and then we're going to ram that shaft nice and deep into this industrial lumber mill. As you can see, that's a lot of logs, but sadly it's needed to power things up. It also means during a drought, we'll have no water power whatsoever. Sadly, because the farms took longer to set up than expected, we've eaten all the berries. What does that mean? It means we can no longer breed more critters. They require 5 berries and 5 water per creature. So we now need these to grow faster. It takes 12 days for 3. You see why I need a lot more. We may have doomed our growth already. If we ignore the potential chance for a literal catastrophe, we do now have the water wheel up and running, which means the industrial lumber mill will be active soon to give us planks. And with planks and the research to do it, we can now have foresters. Foresters are super important for the berry bushes, but not as important as wooden stairs. Wooden stairs will allow us to get down to here, cross this island full of trees, this island here full of trees, and seal this area off. With this area sealed off, we can then use it as an unlimited water supply during the drought. Our biggest goal is sealing this off. Our second biggest goal is going up north to here and sealing this area off here. And on day 9, the industrial lumber mill is finally active and making a few planks. We need a lot of planks, but it's the very beginning of self-sufficient survival. We need 7 to get the forester and 4 for every set of stairs. We are now officially in the expanding and potentially surviving stage rather than oh god, we're all going to die. And with all of our initial planks, the forester is down. With that, we can now start doing the next amazing stage. Mangrove trees. We can now start growing trees in the water. And also, of course, blueberry bushes all along here. And here's the first drought. In 3 days, day 14, the cycle will slowly but surely end, and the drought will try to kill us all. But the second most important research, the wooden stairs, is complete. And with that, we can now go down to the next layer. I need to start sealing this area off and getting more and more trees. We can actually do this and get 2 staircases down before the drought tries to kill us all. And with this, we have enough trees to seal this area off. It is all coming up, Millhouse. If I sound like I'm semi-rushing, I am, because if I don't do this in the first few years, from previous experience on other maps, we'll all die. And with this, there is literally no way to block it. Look how flat things are. We've made it over to this island over here before the drought starts, which is great. Once this area finishes, this is the bad tide, it will give us horrible, horrible poisoning and death. We're going to start sealing this area off over here first. This is our major goal for life. And there's the drought. There's the end of the water. There's the end of the corruption for 4 days. Let's start working. Oh, bad news. I don't have the research for the levee, so I can't do it. Bugger. While we run out of resources, another thing we must do during this drought is expand all the way up to here. We need emergency water gathering. Even though it's a very long walk, this is where we need it to be, this system here. And also over here for emergency water. So we're going to start making people run all the way over here to get us water. That way we should be surviving for another few years, as I'm desperately trying to gather enough research for levees. We have just entered cycle 2 and the drought has ended. The bad tide is on its way, and as you can see, a levee is being built. When my people go in the corrupted water, they'll get corrupted and die. So we may have to cancel this till next time. We did our best. We even breached this area of blockage here so the water will flow down into it. With the bad tide flowing in, we can only hope the water flowing this way will go down here and push it back out so we can finish it off. But you can see everywhere is now having bad tide problems. And this marker here, Beaver is unwell, means 2 beavers unwell, means they're officially both corrupted. Stop going in it! Now luckily the water appears to have pushed it all back, so we can start trying to reseal this area. But as you can see, this is bad. We don't have enough beavers to have this many ill people. It looks to me on the right hand side, we've just finished the levee there. With that, this corruption can't get inside this area. Then we're going to seal this area off over here, have some dams which are half the level high so water goes that way, then seal this area off over here. We can use that to start getting water continuously during the droughts, and then probably build another farm along down here. There's a drought already, it's only been 5 days. So there's a drought in 8 days total. 2 of our people are contaminated, and I've accidentally worked some of my beavers to death. It's going well. Oh, bad news, bad news. We can no longer do the lower area. We're going to have to wait until the drought hits, because it turns out, if I seal this area off over here, this area here completely floods with corruption. We have just doomed ourselves slightly. The drought is 12 days. That is quite a problem. We should have enough water to survive. I have built 3 more breeding pods. That may be a problem already. But this area down here will officially be ready for after the drought ends. I will say, this is a very important one, the very second drought, the 11 to 12 day one, is going to kill off all of these blueberry bushes. See this? They die in about 8 days. So thank the gods, me, that we decided to build blueberries over here. Otherwise this drought would have officially killed off our ability to make more children. But we've achieved our first goal. The lower reservoir has now been completed. The next stage is the upper reservoir. But unfortunately for the upper gate, which we need floodgates, which are 150 research. Dams can only do 50%. Floodgates can do anywhere between 0 to 100%. We need a full wall lockout. We don't have that yet, so now we need to do even more emergency research. And also while we're at it, seal this area off over here so water only comes in this way. And another thing I did, which is very important, is I planted a load of pine trees over here. They can't grow underwater, so you see this area is growing, but this area, the mangroves are dying. So past me has done something good for future me. And over here, we've gone up to here to have even more limited supply of wood. It's getting towards the end of year 2 and our secondary goal is almost achieved. You can see up here, this wall is almost complete. Unfortunately, floodgates are quite expensive. You require 5 planks and 10 logs for each. With that in mind, a second compact water wheel is being built and really pushed into production. To also help with the water wheel, we're going to seal this area off here. With this area sealed off, it should allow us to have even more water pour down here and hit this. This section over here then goes into our third stage of the plan, sealing off this area and turning this into another reservoir and pouring all the water into this, so we have an upper layer and a lower layer. But for now, second stage is still happening. The berry bushes in year 2 are finally sprouting, which allows this area here to get more beavers back online. It has been offline for about 12 days now, but finally more beavers are slowly being bred inside the vats, which means even more hungry mouths to feed, and then more workers for the front lines. And I've also just learned it takes about 11 days for this area up here to run out of water. So we only have currently enough water in the north for 11 days. Luckily, the water in the south should last for significantly longer. We will find out during the next probably major drought. It looks like forcing all the water to come this way is making these turn faster. Not much faster, but still slightly faster. So we are making planks a little bit faster than before. Oh, and there we go. Stage 2 is complete. There is 11 days of drought, but stage 2 is now complete. This area is now sealed. Stage 3, sealing off this area, and this area is now in progress. Be very, very simple. Seal this area off here, force the water that way just for those, and seal this area off here. It's going to take a fair bit of time because my people have to travel a long way, but with that we'll have the first big major reservoir. And while I'm at it for stage 3, I'm also going to build a few barracks. My people can finally live inside rather than under the stars. With the new hauling post over here, resources are flowing more naturally to the large industrial piles and so on. So resources this close are really getting to the front line. This levee is nearly completed already. And extremely quickly after, the second levee segment is slowly being built. Being bigger, it will take longer, but it should be done hopefully by the end of the drought. The drought of which is not really affecting us. This lower reservoir is holding enough water to keep us going for many, many weeks to our current population numbers. Of course, we do need to grow, but for now, we're safe. And to keep my people from thinking about potentially dying if too many people appear, we're putting campfires down. They can sing happy songs and ignore the devastating droughts. I've just realised that food is fast becoming an issue. A lot of my people appear to be slowly starving to death, which isn't the greatest. We may have expanded faster than my meagre food supplies can handle. So we really need to get this reservoir up and running, or more farmland up over here. But I think we should just have enough food growing at any one time so that all my people survive. If we remove some of the berry bushes, we should be able to survive even better, but we need those for the future. The drought's nearly over. We could not in fact get this done before the cycle ended, mostly because we ran out of wood, we ran out of food, and we have water dancing over here. I've even built this to fill this area with water to get even more planting operational. We need as much food as we possibly can. Looking at my numbers, 1 person died of hunger, 2 people died of hunger. We are losing people to hunger, but the water's here, so hopefully our food grows faster. I've also built a third farmhouse to start the process of not dying. I've even expanded the farmland all the way back here, which will die of drought if we don't get this area sealed up. With all the extra plants, we should have stopped the hunger problems. People are still dying of hunger, literally as Aradia dies of it, but this should mean less people die. It only takes 3 days for 2 food. Hopefully this is a cycle, this saves us, because I may have doomed us all. And this will have sealed off this. Just have to seal this area off here, and then all the water then flows down here. We'll have officially created a brand new area. I'm seeing less hunger signs on my people. They're still more than I'd like, but I'm seeing a lot less. And also, with all the extra farmers, we should have solved the food crisis. Oh, great news, another drought's here. Only 4 days into the cycle. This could doom us. We'll see how well that goes. We're still trying to grow more trees. We are prioritising the last remaining levees here and here, and we still need to get ourselves the final floodgate here. With that, we'll have made our reservoir, and the third stage will be complete. I just don't think we have enough trees. However, there is another thing over here. I can build a platform, and maybe there's enough trees over here to get us to where we need to go. So that's now the biggest priority, that single platform right there. I will, however, be brutally honest. This single platform here, which is slowing us down, will get completed before the drought starts. It won't be completed to get all of this area sealed up before the drought starts. So we are back another cycle. Cycle 5 will be fine, but cycle 4, we may have a lot of our farmland die. We now have a huge amount of lumber being cut over here, but it's not going to save stage 3. But stage 3 will still be completed this cycle. Even if this cycle has another 12 days of drought in it, that's going to kill a lot of the farmland off again. But either way, stage 3 is now complete. The top reservoir is now ready for water. We just need to get it. I've also realised, because I'm dumping water into this, I have completely emptied my entire storage of water. So that's a bit of a problem. Stage 4 is going into this area here, sealing off that section there, and that section there, and making a brand new area. This will be another reservoir, being fed over here from another reservoir, being fed over here from another reservoir. So I need to get here, to here, to here, to here. Unfortunately, we now need to start sealing off these areas, which can only be done during drought. Because, of course, my people get contaminated and die otherwise. The first dam will go into an area which looks like this. The second area will then pour out into this area here. We're going to seal this area off. But we're going to have it come across from this area to this area like this. Which then fills into this area. So the entire area will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this from here is what it will look like. Here to here to here to here. We're going to have another one open up out to here, so the water flows then back out and down to here. And then we're going to seal this area off as well. But stage 4 is this massive interlocking reservoir system. Sealing this area off first will be the biggest priority, because as you can imagine, having this flood into my reservoir will kill us all. Which means a build of something like this. We go up the stairs, up to the top, build these 2 levees on top of 2 more double platforms. They are the next tier, and that will force all the water out that side. This is the very first section of phase 4. I estimate, looking at this, it's going to take maybe 5 to 6 cycles to do. So not much is going to happen until this is sorted. So I've also decided to expand this area here. This will be a 2 tile deep reservoir here being fed from this. We just have to hope the top reservoir works. So, just before we start cycle 5, you'll see a few things have changed across the entirety of the map. This one all over here, this is going to be our wood platform. We have 2 foresters, multiple lumberjacks and storage, which will be harvesting this area here for lumber. Over on the left, we have this system here, which is doing mangrove plants to harvest them for fruit. So this entire area here will be food, that area there will be wood. This area here will be wood, and this area down here will also probably be wood, then into mangrove plants. I've turned the lower area here into farmland, or will do as it comes along. Just below that we have the industrial section. We are going to have to move the dams across a bit, because I built stupidly, but it pours the water through this area here into 6 compact water wheels, into my industrial lumber, of which we obviously have 3 of those, and 2 gear workshops, because we need gear. Now I've yet to even dam this area off, so this is all optimistic, and I even have 3 wheels of shame here to power it all up in the future. But as you can see, I'm planning for this area to be a massive industrial section. Back into the reservoir system itself, I've started slowly pushing out into here. So we have more deep water pumps pushing out, and obviously more storage for more and more of these water tanks. With that being stated, over here, next to it, my plan is to divert the water, the bad water, from this section to over here. So this area can then be sealed off, as you can see, and expand this dam system. So it's like a 2-tier system, eventually to a 3-tier system as I push down over here and seal this area off too. Because obviously the water section, where all our water comes from, we want a lot of water stored within. So the first stage of this will be sealing this area off, doing doing that bit, and then sealing this bit. And obviously there's a few other things around as well, like even more inventors' huts. We actually finally have barracks for my people to sleep in. I have even more breeding pods on top of rooftops, which I can pause. So we have a huge amount of things planned. First step is to go all the way to the front And you see this section just here of the wooden stairs I'm building? I'm going to build a floodgate-based system over here because I did a little test. Basically, if I close these floodgates, the water starts rising. This actually needs to be open for the water to be okay. If you close all these floodgates, this area over here doesn't let out enough water, which means this area floods. Now, with just regular water, that's fine. With bad water, I would irradiate and kill every single beaver I even vaguely like. So, yeah, I need to get over here and put in a pressure relief system. Release system over here to stop that happening. And there's obviously there's emergency water pumps over here, emergency water pumps over here. There's these little systems we'll talk about later. But they've had a long, hard think, and there's a lot of stuff we need to build. In fact, if you zoom out, everything bright green is priority 1. I need a wheel of shame over here to turn the industrial lumber mill on permanently when the water stops. I need this deep water pump on, and also this deep water pump on. And I need that green area over there also on. So food and water are priority. And also, while I'm at it, we'll be needing a few more builders' huts. With this many buildings, builders' huts will be needed to get more builders. But for more builders, we need more beavers. I tell you what, I think I like the previous me where I didn't plan anything. Now I've actually started putting planning in because I had a long, hard think about it. If all of this fails and the city fails and drought and starvation happens, I'll be a little bit miffed. Watching this single deep water pump here take several days to be built makes me more confident in this and this being built. We need so many supplies to keep the industry running that even this early stage, I think I'm already running behind schedule. It's taken give or take 8 days just to get the 2 pumps and just a staircase up north done, which isn't a good sign. Luckily, by the looks of it, the next date is going to be the tree farming over here for the fruit, and that will give us huge amounts of food. Takes 10 days for the tree and then 10 days per fruit. So once we get to 20 days for each tree, we are basically making food continuously. In fact, looking at our food get way below the 100 marker, we may have to pivot to this bit over here. There's 2 farmhouses designed to help out this farmland up here, and of course more farmhouses for this farmland down here. I also just realised the drought's about to cut off our water supply here. The wheels have already stopped turning, so now we need a wheel of shame to power the ability to actually make planks. Without it, our entire industry is just shut down. Good news, we have plenty of trees now from this area that the wheel of shame / pain is going to be complete. So 2 beavers from my hauling force are going to be put into there to make sure this is always be running to always make planks. Without planks, we are quite literally stuck for about 10 days, and I can't have that. Okay, we're now at 6 days left of the drought. One of the farmhouses up here is now complete, some more food's being pulled in. I'm doing one of the builders' huts to get even more beavers active. And this area over here, the forester with the 2 gatherers is also complete. So 2 major sections of farming are now active. We've hit cycle 6. We are low on food. Water ran out. I have begun the sealing of this second layer area of the reservoir. So our water tank will be done. Although if you had to seal this area off and then go to second expansion. The lower area, we've yet to move the dam to make a floodgate. That's on the cards. Also, because of how low our food is, they've been eating all the berries. So the next generation of beavers is not beavering away because we've technically ate them, I guess. With the new cycle, some of my beavers are now builder's hut number 2, so they're now helping out build even more things. We've almost got the double floodgate set up on the lower reservoir. And just like that, day 5, maybe day 6, we've officially completed this section of the reservoir. Look at that. So now this area here holds a huge amount of water, which these can then pull in. The city, mostly agricultural, is thriving and growing. Entire segments are being built, and I'm so happy for it. See, this area here is now being done. Another tree farm is going active. And while we're at it, this regular farm is also going to be active. We'll always need food and always need water, and I think after that, we're going to start doing this section here too. Oh no, the bad tide's approaching and I'm not ready for that. Okay, so we need to destroy this area over here and get the floodgates in. I've got a couple of days. I'm going to try and finish this area off first, and then I'm going to prioritise getting the floodgates in, because I don't want to flood this area with polluted, irradiated scum. We're down to half a day. My builders, all 8 of them, have yet to even remove one of these rocks. I had one. Oh, here he comes. That's it. Good, good, good. Remove them quickly, because you need to get at least 2 floodgates down. That's it. Now build these as fast as you can. We have these at 0.7 so that they won't be flooded when we're not using them. And when we are using them, obviously when we seal this up to 1, everything goes that way. On the bright side of this massive gap, all the water will be going that way. So there should be, unless I have to delete this, no problem over here. Although I'm going to seal that off to make sure. Look at it. Pouring in. We are in fact safe. It's not going any higher than the little white line on the blocks. So this release valve only needed 2 to be destroyed. So these 2 floodgates, all the muck goes that way, and all the clean will go that way. Although it will require manual observations. So if I do a dumb, I could kill us all. Well, the bad tide is only 5 days, so we're nearly out of it. Our wood system is being grown. Our food is nearly ready to be gathered, so I've actually started building the storage over there. And I've begun to realise, counting the breeding pods, we have 11 active, with another 6 over here. That'll be 17 breeding pods. And even though there'll be children for a while, I think that is a couple of 100 beavers on average alive at any one time. Also, the bad tide is killing off half of my plants, which is a problem because I kind of need them to be alive. So I need to continue working on the reservoir system to stop this bloody stuff from happening. And while we're at it, we also need to move over to here because we actually do need bad water in some of our systems. Like, we can make explosives to dig into the ground. And I think controlling it might mean sealing this area off here, and maybe this side, and have the water pollution pour down here. Then we can actually have these systems, the deep bad water pumps, pumping it out from the edge. Now they require metal, which is why this long road to nowhere exists. The only way we can get metal is from these things, the remnants of humanity. We're going to harvest their graves and their corpses for scrap metal, which we then need to smelt with the smelter. Now, as you can see, it's a massive building, which is why the industrial area is always expanding. It will be put down here. The first of the mangrove fruits are being pulled over. I keep thinking they're mangoes, but I think I'm an idiot. So the mangrove fruits are being pulled. We now actually have a lot of food being pulled in. We have a lot of water. I am not letting the water in, am I? This is why I said I'm an idiot. There we go. Let in the water. It's been 2 days. And we're finally growing loads of trees over here, which will be cut down momentarily. Oh, and apparently also when I wasn't looking, 2 of the 3 deep water pumps over here have also been built. With that all being sorted, it's time to expand this way and get the industrial section up and running. Which does mean deleting this wall and rebuilding it. So there we go. We now have these floodgates over to here, which will be at 0.9. This area is sealed off and all the water gets pushed through this section, through the water wheels, which power the industry, which then have the wheels of pain/shame when we don't have the water flowing. 2 temporarily permanent medium warehouses are being built up here because we don't have the massive amount of logs and planks to build this, although I'd like to, because we just need some more kohlrabies being gathered. I may prioritise this after the industrial section is partially set up, which, luckily, according to all these beavers, shouldn't be too long. The dam's set up, we just need the wall to be finished. The very first section of industrial is complete, the lumber mill, so I've turned off this section over here, and I'm now using this section over here. We'll only use this section when there's a drought, because there's a wheel of shame there. We use mystical black magic and dark arts for our power supply and storage. Basically the gravity battery. It has a big massive vat of chemicals and rocks. The higher up it is, the more power is stored. As it goes down, it loses power. So basically it's like putting a ripcord inside all of your buildings. So we need to build some of these up as high as possible, which will be here currently, and we'll connect them to the rest of the system to store mystical power during the off times. On the bright side, while waiting for the industry to be finished, this area up here is basically done. So we've now sealed off this bad water source, although it does mean there's more bad water pouring this way, and it appears to be poisoning our blueberries. Great news, the next problem we're having is a drought, which we can handle our food and water needs to be expanded a bit more, just have the resources for it. In fact, I think storage is holding us back. The next tier of water storage requires gears, which we don't have access to yet, because our gears are currently at the back of the system. I can probably activate one right now, because it's connected over here, but otherwise we need to get this entire central system of power shafts sorted out. Beaver numbers are starting to vastly increase. The industry is almost complete. Of course, it's mostly going to be out of power in about 0.2 days. But yeah, we have spare beavers. We're going to go back to over here, turn this back on because we have to, and carry on building absolutely everything. We need to get the gears for the medium tanks to store the water. See this? This is why I didn't want to build a staircase. Look at them. They're going over here to build this section, because this section is next on the agenda. No. Just build this and stop doing that. Oh, you useless muppets. You're like dwarfs of socks. During this absolutely massive cycle of drought, I have completed all my construction work. I've got a second builder's hut up and running. I've got a second polling post up and running. And I'm slowly starting to siphon this air off here and put even more deep water pumps down. We have a huge amount of beavers in need of work, which means we have a huge amount of builders doing work, including expanding this way. The great skyway over to here to get the metal is being done. It's all very well being in the wood age, but we need the iron age, the metal age, the age of burning things for power. Quite literally, in fact, because this is the engine where we burn things for power. Either way, this area is now done, so we're now pushing this Badwater that direction, which means we can slowly start trying to expand into here. But as you can imagine, this is going to take, I'd like to say, probably an entire year to do. So we're going to green it off and hope for the best. We're also going to try and get these gear workshops up and running. If we get these up and running, we can actually start getting the next tier of items and buildings built. And I'll be honest, the expansion is definitely needed, maybe this side more than the skyway to nowhere, because we are down to 200 water and there's 8 days left of drought. We are pumping out more water than we can store, so these 2 tanks are very, very important to get down. We need them finished, because obviously pumping out water in a small area during a drought is stupid. Luckily, we do have our 6 emergency pumps out there, but yeah, this is bad. So we're going to ignore it and just carry on building. Well, the water's completely gone. We have 6 days to go, so the 6 emergency pumps are now running, and we are very, very out of water. It also means the entirety of our farmlands of all types only has so many days left before they die. In fact, all of our fruit plants appear to be dying before the water makes it to them. So that's cool. Takes 20 days for them. By ignoring all the we need water signs on every single beaver, the industrial section is now online. We now have planks being turned into gears and logs being turned into planks. But yeah, thirst is rapidly becoming the #1 murder problem. However, I think these 6 pumps should keep me okay for the next couple of days. After that, we may have problems. I think a few will die of thirst, but we do have a cushion of about 20 to 30 to fall back on. I'll be honest, the drought's getting worse. I'm beginning to think maybe I don't need this area prioritised so much. I'm going to deprioritise it. What we need to prioritise is getting these 2 things up and running, which requires lots of gears. I'm also debating, we have 3 industrial lumber mills here, but it takes 3 hours per gear. It takes 2/3 of an hour per plank. So we may not actually need the 3rd industrial lumber mill. I don't quite know how many gears we're going to need, which is a problem. I'm trying to future-proof the food, which probably won't go the best, but we still need to try. So a farmhouse over here, more gatherers flags and trees over there. I have found that trees die slower if they're next to water source. See that in the green? 12 days. You see this over here? 1.8 days. So I need explosives from the Badwater because we need to dig a hole in the floor so that they can put it near these plants so they don't all bloody die. We need Badwater. And what do we need to gather Badwater? We need smelters. And smelters need scrap. So we need to skyway to here to grab here to build explosives to save here. Now the water's here. I'm expecting, if I'm brutally honest, maybe about 20 beavers to die. But as you can see, I am future-proofing. There are foresters' huts being built around. There's gatherers' flags being placed everywhere. More things being planted near this watering hole over here. Oh, and our first person died of thirst, Elaine. I'm sorry, Elaine, you'll be one of many people I forget. Yira's died of thirst, that's number 2. We're getting towards problem period, so that's great. We need a lot more gears being made. For some reason, they're just building more. Stop building this! And while I'm at it, I'm putting a load of small tanks down because they only require logs. If I could put storage down for water, I will. Water isn't the problem of gathering, it's storing. I just need more of it. So if that can all be done, that would be great. Thirst has taken 4 people from us, and it's getting better. Oh, never mind. Loads more people are now dying of thirst. It's begun! The thirst problem has begun. But on the bright side, that means no one else will die of thirst after we've lost, oh my god, 9 people. The explosives are massive priority key right now. Of course, I have stopped the skyway to nowhere. But we do need that metal to get the smelters, to get the Badwater, to get the explosive manufacturing. We need to make holes for our trees to not die. It is so imperative we get that done. Which means for now we're building teeny tiny little platforms everywhere just to get more trees, to get more research, to get more resources. We are on the cycle of insanity. So with how cycle 8 is going, we are just mostly rebuilding our entire industry. So I'll leave it as it is for now. Start unlocking the smelter, and I'm starting to plan some more things. Obviously, we need to expand this area to get the smelters in because they are quite large. So I'm not going to destroy this third one. Apparently, planks are significantly more needed than gears, although we do need gears to build the big tanks over there. 8 days into the cycle, we have 400 food, 800 water, which still isn't the best. We still need 10 more gears. But we have food and water. We haven't expanded this area because we need to shore up our food problem. But, God, look at it. It's just dead. We are doing better. I need more of these. Having a single one of these foresters was dumb of me. Oh my god, we need a second. Well, the drought's approaching. We had 10 to 13 days of good water. We're still replanting. Yeah, we definitely need a second forester over here for when drought strikes. But I'd like to remove the drought problem by having, you know, a hole in the floor. But we don't have that yet because we don't have enough builders because everything is so far away it takes forever to build. We should be solving this issue because this area is now built up apart from here and here. We now have storage for logs over here. A second forester will allow even more greenery to grow faster. Okay, we are back on track. In fact, I am going to be building another forester over here. We just need it. So I need to kill this tree. I know you planted it. I know it's halfway to growth, but die. And while we're at it, I'm going to unlock the Badwater pumps. We can't use them yet, but let's actually plan out over here what they should look like. They will look like this. So they're both connected to here to the deeper part. We haven't yet run the trough for the Badwater, but this will have to do temporarily, permanently. We still need metal to smelt that, so this will have to be undone soon. Food is getting back to where I'd like it to be. If I have a forester here, that should be good. So we're going to have one over here. So another random little dumb thing for the foresters. Yeah, there we go. That can do this entire area here, which means even more plant growth, which means even more random things cutting them down, which means even more holes in the floor are needed. We have 19 days of drought. Well, that's going to kill off all of our plants again. So that's good news. That's great news. It's a couple of days into the drought, and we are carrying on the walkway to nowhere because I need that metal. I'm also going to let this area get built. We now have foresters quite literally absolutely everywhere. We have gatherers' flags, we have woodcutters. The entire area is being turned into my own personal oasis. Of course, we will lose most of it in about 7-8 days. Why are these deep water pumps still on? I would also say a quick uh-oh, because we've just run out of water here. We only have 1k left. We should be able to survive the 10 days, including the emergency water up north. But I think we need to actually expand this area. It should have been done last cycle, but it's probably going to have to be done this cycle, which means the skyway to nowhere is going to stay nowhere. We've begun the placement of the first smelter. So the first smelter is now officially going down. We do need 30 scrap metal to make it, so this needs to be finished. And apparently this is going to take forever to make. Water should last to the point where we get more water, but water is a problem too. So we need more medium tanks for storing it. With that, we can have more water during, you know, the wet seasons. Also, they built 2 barracks over here. These barracks here are for a future skyscraper I will be building. They were merely there to see where the placement would be. They shouldn't have actually built the damn thing, and I apologise for another mistake. Oh, because the water's gone, we're completely out of trees. So I'm going to start cutting all of this down once more. Because let's face it, we're not going to be needing any of these. So start cutting down these trees, because nothing here is in the green zone. So we have some wood. We have 200 food, we have 400 water. We are at the tail end of a massive, massive problem. Oh, and even greater news, we actually have the resources needed to get over here. We now have the Skyway to Heaven. So we now have 3 of these active, grabbing as scrap metal, which means we can now turn on the smelter once it's built. Look at that, the beavers are finally defiling the remnants of humanity. Yes, harvest their buildings, ignore the bodies. Of course it needs planks, which we have plenty of, gears, which we have none of, so we are still behind. We still need the drought to end for more stuff, and we have just hit the water and food problem. In fact, everything is just turned off. We may have problems at the end of this day. In desperation, I've turned the gear workshop back on, just one of them, and one of the lumber mills, so hopefully we can make some gears to try and get this operational. But yeah, oh, we're out of water and food. Oh, good. Some people may die. We should be okay on the water front. A bit lower. Food, we will be mostly fine. Of course, we have to rebuild yet again, but with all of this going on, we are very, very close to explosives. And there we go, the explosives factory. We're going to build one right next to here. It's probably stupid, but I'm doing it regardless. So the explosive factory, quite simply, just needs Badwater. And with that, we can start putting a few holes in the ground so my trees don't all die every single time. Oh my god, look at all those icons. So water's now flowing. Good. Food's somewhat of an issue. We will work on that. But all of these mangrove plants down here should still be giving us mangroves. It'll take a bit of time, but there we go. So we have mangroves. We have a few blueberries. A lot of people just died. Oh, how many people died of old age? We lost a lot of people due to old age, of all things. But the water's flowing. The biggest problem we'll have is the people who actually grow the food and drink the water, or make the water, usually are the ones who stop working to get water and food. So the people who are quite literally in these buildings getting life-saving water for everyone go, I don't want to make water. I want to have a drink over there. Drink the bloody water you're pulling out, you morons. It's going well. I'm not angry at all at them. Despite all that, a lot of the trees are surviving. So we may lose a few beavers. The numbers are going up. But we do have a lot of trees for the future. A lot of mangroves will be eaten. A lot of beavers are dying of old age, I've noticed. An awful lot of old age. And food and water are still quite bad, but we are on top of it again. Once we seal this area off, we'll have a huge amount of water storage so this won't happen. And we should have had it 2 cycles ago, as you know. But if we hadn't started working on the food, we would all be dead. It did, however, take 4 days for a first person to die of hunger. Obviously, a few more probably will now that's started. But it means we're over the main hurdle. Great news, everyone's dying of hunger because the people grabbing the water keep going for food. So we aren't getting the water up, everyone's dying of hunger, and honestly, I don't mind if they all die. I'd be happy if they all died at this stage. Oh, they're dying of thirst now. Who saw that coming? Because these guys don't do their goddamn jobs. So we've lost about 30 beavers to hunger and thirst. We're probably going to look at about 60 beavers at this bloody point in time. Because again, the ones gathering the food and the water stop gathering food and water to get food and water. And no matter how many buildings I turn off, more beavers die of hunger and thirst. So there's a very, very high chance we'll have no one left. Because how are people still hungry and thirsty when the only people working are on food and drink? We were so close to getting Explosives Factory. Yeah, Cycle 9 is a complete and total waste. We need to rebuild from our losses. It's going to take time and effort. But yeah, right now Cycle 9 is completely rebuilding. We're still 28 beavers missing. So I've had to completely mothball this facility over here, the Forester facility. This area here only has 1 gatherer active. They may be able to get anything. All the foresters are offline. But still 23 beavers missing, and half of our base is completely shut down. And they're still dying of old age and hunger. And I'm like, how are you still dying of hunger? We're pulling up so much food. Just eat the damn stuff. I refuse to turn off the builders though, because we need 4 builders still actively moving. Even if it's just for this bit over here. Oh, it's the end of the world as we know it. And I'm feeling fine. These people are not. The next drought is on its way. We have 2 children, so old age will soon claim our entire workforce. But we have just enough berries to get most of the breeding pods back online. The food situation is, as you can see, trees are everywhere. We have food coming out of our tails. We just don't have the beavers to grab the food. And in that situation, I have turned on the gear workshop and the industrial lumber mill. This is making just enough gears to get the smelter operational. Well, the drought's officially began. It's only 10 days. I think genuinely the game is taking pity on me. And we need 3 more gears, well 2 more gears to finish the smelter. So we're so very close. So if we actually had people for the power wheel, we could finish the smelter off now. So we could have made stuff. But we still need gears. We need the industrial sector to be turned back on. We are still just slowly rebuilding. A few more people have died of old age, but a lot of babies were born. We're at 1.2 thousand food and 1,600 water now. So the food situation has been solved. How did we solve it? Excessive amounts of trees. If only I'd done that, say, 3 cycles ago, we wouldn't have this issue. So despite all of our issues, despite losses everywhere, we have actually completed this zone. See this? This is kind of cool. We've actually completed the expansion for this water area, which ironically I didn't think we'd actually get to do for a little bit longer, you know, because of all the deaths. But this means we've completed another one of our checkpoints. The next stage is quite literally get the deep bad water pumps online for the smelter, to get the explosives factory online, to get holes, to get the trees to not die during droughts. Well, we've survived to cycle 10. I'm very proud of us because honestly I didn't think we would at the way things were going. And we are finally making gears and things once more over here. People, we're finally back to where we were in cycle 7. Yay! With the waterways back operational, or they will be soon, we now have all of the building blocks to carry on the rebuilding effort. There's a lot we need to do, and we need to do it now. The water's back online, planks are being made, gears are being made. We now have access to this being completed. We just needed 2 gears for it to be done. The smelter will be operational, and with it, we can finally get the bad water pumps operational. I am so happy. The metal age has begun. Look at that, it's operational. Why isn't it on? Have I not built a connection there? I haven't built a connection underneath this bridge. Oh, and there we go. It's online. We finally have access. Very much so, to the smelter making metal blocks. The scrap metal needs to be pulled from over here, so we're going to turn one of these back online. But metal blocks are now on the menu. We have gears, we have planks, we have scrap. So we're going to prioritise over here now. If we can get the bad water flowing, I'll be super happy. Also, we need to get this done as well, which requires gears and metal blocks. But we're well on our way to finishing. Look at that. The first metal block is completed and the second one is out. We have 2 metal blocks. We are in the metal age fully now. And over here, the bad water pumps are nearly completed. Look at that. The block's already going in. Once these 2 are both done, I technically only need 1. We will have explosives being produced. It's 5 bad water per bomb. So it's going to take a little while. But we can finally start putting holes in the ground. Oh, a bad tide's approaching. Good news for us, which means the bad water won't stop flowing. And we'll see how long it is. It should be a shorter one, but we have plenty of food everywhere, as you can see. Trees everywhere. We have resources everywhere. We are now in a good spot. We can start placing the large tank. This requires metal blocks, but with that it holds 1,200 water. Of course, the gears are going to take a while to make because gears are real slow. Maybe I should have changed this into a gear workshop, but whatever. But either way, that will hold so much more water. Also, with metal, there's something else we can get. These sluice gates, or slice gates, or juice gates, however you want to call them. Basically, they can detect contaminated water and turn on or off. If I build these over here and here, I can stop the automated process of me having to do it manually. So when the bad water starts, we're going to delete this and put in the slice gates, because I'm not trying to say that properly. Oh, and just like that, the first of our bad water pumps is online. We now have bad water flowing into the city. In a good way, not a bad way, which, you know, usually is a problem. But there we are. The 2 bad water pumps are online once the beavers get in. We have bad water for our bombs. We just need this to be done. And that requires only 12 more metal blocks. And the bad tide has officially started. So I am going to eventually delete these. Have the slice gates over here. But the bad tide is here. The bad water is being collected. And so close. 8 metal blocks. I've turned off everything but the smelter so this large power wheel can power it. It does take 2 hours per block, and according to this we only have about a 40% productivity, which means only 3 or 4 being made a day, which isn't the best, but it's still something. And it's done! The explosives factory is online. Why aren't you finished? The explosives factory is online. And I am going to be prioritising the heck out of this. Right now I just need the front piece to be done. But yes, we can now make bombs. I'm going to be using them liberally along the pathways near my trees. We're going to start laying down the beginnings of everything. And this is what we're looking at. A 5x2 area I have blown up into the floor. I just do this, detonate, and it goes boom, boom, boom. Now, of course, this area here is the trench work for the path, which I shouldn't have blown up because I kind of still needed it to be there, but here we are. So that was dumb of me. We are 4 blocks up from bedrock, so I actually need a better TNT, the triple dynamite, to do that. For triple dynamite, I need extract. For extract, I need bad water and this centrifuge. So I need even more resources. In fact, we need more research to put this down to actually start getting extract. So right now I'm using baby bombs till I can get to the big boy bombs. But we are going to have 5x2s everywhere to keep our plants alive, because I'm tired of them all dying out. If you look very carefully, you will see a year has passed since I last looked at the village. You'll also see a lot of people have died of thirst, but we have plenty of spare people. So the changes. We now have a gravity battery up here connected to all of this via that pipe along here. We have even more compact water wheels along here. So you have a lot of wheels powering this. We have 2 explosives factories just here and 2 smelter factories. We have a lot of resources being made. I have been using explosives liberally, so now there's a hole here to keep this area watered, and massive pits all over the place to make sure water stays. Now water can of course still disappear, but we are expanding and planning. The next goal is these, the tube-way stations. That's why all of these double platforms exist, to get the tubes above the area. Have you ever seen Frostpunk 2 with their piping? It looks like that, but better, because the game didn't really get forgotten after 3 weeks. I need to get more research, I need to get more metals, and so on, because the things we need are going to be these platforms, which are 3,000 research. And of course we only have 1.1. So our goal this year is quite literally, I want to get 1.5k to get a number cruncher. It requires power to run, but with number crunchers there's 10 an hour and we can carry on building. And after the number cruncher I'm going to grab this, the engine, which is 400 horsepower as it burns things. I am planning 2 number crunchers, but that's about 1,000 watts of power, or 1,000 horsepower, every single second, and we don't have that. Even if it's fully running, we're looking at 1,200. Now, of course, if I get the engines on, that'll be about 16, 20, 2,400. You can run these and everything else, but only during the wet season. So for now, I'm planning on one and turning the other off. We've done it. We've got the 1,500 needed for the number cruncher. The first of many major technological advances is now 100 gears is now going to be taken to build. Once this is done, we get research, a lot of research, and then we need engines, and then we need the stepping stones of life, the overhangs, and then we need the most important part, the triple dynamite, which is 1,200. We have a lot of things to go, you may have noticed, because we still also need the centrifuge as well. So this number cruncher should help speed things up, although gear production is still very slow. So we're about to hit a bad tide flood, which isn't too much of an issue for us because we have water and we have resources. It is a problem, however, that the number cruncher is going to take literal days to be completed. So with that being stated, I think we prioritise getting the water supply fully ready. So this area over here, 3 more deep water pumps are being built in this system, and will eventually blow up the floor and make it deeper. With the amount of gears I needing quite literally being insane, we still need another 75. The deep water pumps are coming along nicely. It's going to take a few more days, and I think power will be a major problem soon. We have just enough people to run 2 of the Wheels of Shame. It's not quite enough, but it might be able to let us run some of the systems. The bad tide is only a 10-day situation, so that's completely fine, even with a low water storage, because we're still working on it. We have enough water. It's going to take a couple of years at this rate to get that running. So yeah, we're going to have to turn this into gear production, I feel. It's done. A 3rd gear workshop is now down. We can replace that eventually to get a different industrial lumber mill, I guess. But yeah, for now, a 3rd gear workshop is active, or will be soon. If I really want gears, I can destroy this large tank and get 59 of them. But then I won't have a large tank for water. Oh, decisions. We're just going to make more. We're just going to make more. You may have noticed I made a decision. So the large tank is going to take a bit longer to complete. But on the bright side, the number cruncher's nearly done. We also have enough research from the regular peasants to get an engine down. So I'm also building an engine, because if I can't run the damn thing, what's the point of anything? The first of many engines of the Metal Age is down. The number cruncher is active. Please, please build the engine faster. Actually, now I'm looking at it slowly being built with all the gears it also needs. I'm kind of glad I blew up the large tank. On the bright side, we've almost completed most of the reservoir system up to here. So to push along to here and finish this section off. But with that, we'll have this reservoir, this one here, which obviously a little bit like that, and this one over here. So I've now sectioned it into basically 5 segments as opposed to the 3 it was going to be. We just need to get the industry up and running to keep it going. On the bright side, the first engine is now complete. We are still tragically low on gears, but now we can start burning logs for power. And of course the power will stay on all night because there's a battery which can absorb it. So now we have a little bit of power being stored for nighttime purposes, which is pretty bloody awesome. While the second engine is being built, we need 5 more gears. I kind of have the number cruncher running, and we've now got the centrifuge, which turns bad water into extract. Extract can be used to make better beavers faster. The advanced breeding pod doesn't make children, it makes adults. But it requires berries and extract rather than water. So this allows us to have better children, which are literally adults immediately, lovely cloning, or more powerful explosives. Of course, we need more powerful explosives to start drilling into the ground for the pylons. So we have a lot of things we need to do, and we need to get them done pretty quickly. But the second engine's online, so we're getting there. Luckily, with the number cruncher running all night long, which ironically is only 6 hours because I'm making everyone work late, that's an extra 60 research we wouldn't otherwise be getting. Continuous research means we are so close to triple TNT. Either way, I'm replacing what I've done like this. So there's going to be a single dynamite which goes off first, then a triple dynamite, then I can replace the pylon platforms. How I originally did it was just putting lots of TNT all along the path, which was dumb of me, and I'm having to delete them all manually. It's time consuming, but it will make the place better, faster and more organised. But for now, I hate past me. And the bad tide ends, which means we can now start changing out the front of our base. I want to get rid of these and add in these, the slices. See these close below contamination 5%? I want these to be obviously close above contamination 5%. So that one opens when it's too contaminated, and this one closes when it's too contaminated. There we go. 5 on one side, and an extra 1 on this side over here. So this will get rid of the bad tide, and this will not let the bad tide touch me in any way, shape or form. Oh, and back in the industrial section, the centrifuge is nearly completed. I'm quite happy about that. That will allow us to start finally making extract. Although now we need to store extract, maybe even into one of these. Yeah, in fact, congratulations, you are now the extract storage temporarily, permanently. The sluice gates are being built pretty quickly because they don't require gears for some unknown reason. So 2 out of 5 are already done. This is massively useful. So when that's all finished, I will no longer ever have to accidentally forget to open or close them. Future me will thank me for this. Good news, the front door is basically done, just needs 2 more hammers, and the centrifuge is now active. Bad water and logs will become extract, and now we can start the explosive process of a bad tide approaching while I'm still rebuilding the front gate and getting my system up and running. So we can soon see if the bad tide defense system actually works. It better. Also, to give you an idea, it's day 4 of this cycle, and the water's still just got to here. It takes about 6 days for the water to get through to this part of the system over here of the compact water wheels. Which means when the bad tide arrives, we'll have had not enough water to actually start the water wheels. We may need more significant amount of water. Yeah, look, we're not even close to filling it. We have to get this to 1.5. That's half of this block. We're nowhere near. Oh my god, it takes so long to fill now. Either way, sod it. I'm starting to blow the dynamite. It may take time, but we need to start getting this section also sorted. So there's a few problems, but this is not going to be my problem. The triple TNT is being put in. We are going down to the bottom and starting to put the pylons in. Sod this. With the pylons in, we can start working on more advanced things like panicking. I still need 3k for certain parts. I do have the beginnings of this. The 2-way station is up there. And I hopefully have built it in such a way that it actually works properly. I'll find out about that very soon. Oh, there is one piece of good news. It only takes about beginning of day 6 for the water to actually get to here. Although it has slightly flooded this section. So, yes, it does eventually work, which is great, which also has number crunchers on a platform rather than inside the area. That'll do for now. Finally, the number cruncher's active. Let's get a second one built, I guess, for the half a day they now activate. Okay, the pits are now 4 deep as well in the turf stars. I'm thinking 2 platform pieces at the bottom so things can still go underneath them like power. Then it's the 3 to get to the top here. Then it's the 2 needed for the platforms itself. This will allow us to have things running along the bottom out of sight, running along the actual thing with the people walking along the paths, and also the tube system built on top of it. So that's where we are with that. I may not like the idea of the bottom one being like completely see-through, but I'm trying to have this be a 4 deep waterway. And the bad tide has started. I'm going to the entrance. So if I'm very correct, once this red touches that, this will seal off completely at about 5%. And obviously this area here is probably about 5%, I'd say. So is it going to stop? Oh, there we go. It's completely sealed. A little bit of bad in. Otherwise, it's turned off. And this side over here of the 3 turns on. Perfect. I've automated the front, so I no longer have to forget. Awesome. Although with 7 days, I'm going to keep on blowing up triple dynamite and getting some of these platforms ready. Wait, why is everyone angry? Injury? Food? -2? I guess we need more shelter. But yeah, we're going to keep on getting these platforms down. I'm going to get a second number cruncher active because we just need more power. And I'm going to get a few more gravity batteries up here, which, as you can kind of guess, is very gear intensive. I've discovered a minor issue with my building plan. I blew up a piece here to get the whole pylon set up, and instead of being able to walk across to the farmland, they now have to go all the way around there, which is a problem, which is why people are slowly starving and wood is no longer getting towards my industry. I have created a bottleneck through stupidity. It's beginning. The pylons are going up. The overhangs are being built. Eventually the network will be done. And with this we'll have people, I don't know, I've never actually used it before, people scurrying through tubes. I mean, you look at it, it actually says 300% speed, and it is literally a tube. So I'm hopeful that we'll get something cool to look at. But either way, we're building up, we're expanding over here, and blowing up more pieces of floor, and the world is coming along nicely. While the pipe system is being sorted out for whatever it's worth, because I need more movement, we do need to work on something else. The food issue, while better and more stable, requires hydroponic gardens. We're going to start growing our stuff inside machinery as opposed to just letting nature water it, because it takes too long, it's prone to literally dehydrating and dying, and it takes up a huge amount of space. So it's time to start building towers of plant production, although I don't quite know where. I'm thinking genuinely over here would be where I'd want to put it. This looks like a nice spot, and obviously I'm not using it for anything apart from growing. Oh, my blueberries are dead. Blueberries anyway. So I start building hydroponics over here. Things should come along nicely. So yeah, we're going to start getting the pipe work going that way, which is what this is doing. and I think things are coming along quite well. The only issue I can see is starvation and or the ruins over here in the distance running out. As you can see, half the skyscraper is gone. So it's time to start building faster. It's going to take quite a long time for construction to take place. We're very low on planks now because obviously I'm not making enough because now I'm trying to make more gears. We have gears being stored up, so I might destroy the gear workshop and get the plank workshop back down again. In fact, I am. So we are struggling material-wise. So this needs to be massively expanded once again. Can we do it? Yes. But that means even more expansion. We're currently struggling just getting pipes down. But as you can see, the first of 3 two-brace stations is complete. One here, and one there, with the pipework connecting to them. So, great news. I've let things run for a couple of years. As you can see, the two brays are going, and it actually works. When beavers go in, look, they become a little glowing light as they go through the system. That is pretty awesome. So you can actually see multiple beavers travelling from that station to that station, because that one's not finished, this one doesn't exist, and this one over here doesn't go anywhere. Now, you may also notice we are completely out of water, and we have 300 water in storage. We have 800 food in storage, and the mushrooms are still growing. Yes, I've got the mushrooms down. We have 4.6 days left, and we're about to have a food and water famine. Again, cycle 16 is the cycle of rebirth and reproduction again. Because despite the fact that I've got a lot of construction going on, see, even this is being built. The great skyscraper of the beavers is finally rising from the floor. Food and water are gone, so everyone's going to be dead. So, 50-50. Some of the things I will be doing is liberally placing dynamite down here. Now, I need to eventually destroy all of this and put more TNT. But I'm dropping the entire level of this down 3 levels. Now, I've only done, as you can see, just this little bit under here. But the rest of it will be dropped as well. Eventually, this whole area will be 3 to 4 to 5 layers of water we can siphon. It's not as good as a dam, and 60 water proves that, but it's all we've currently bloody got. In fact, of all the things we currently got, I'm going to put another deep water pump on the side of the housing, because there is water over here, because it's also dropping this area too. Every little drop of water helps, and we're out of most of it. I'm also expanding this water over there, as you can see. So, the empire is growing. All the little water lakes have also shriveled up. 3 days left. 3 days of no water and limited food. A second experimental temporarily permanent deep water pump is being built over here too. Hopefully it gets some water, because this one, apparently whoever's working it, isn't doing their goddamn job. Who's meant to be working this? Grab some water. Well, whoever's working it is letting the whole of Beaverdom die, so it's going well. I hate you. Or Azia? I can't say your name. Some waters came out of it. We've taken a grand total of 8 water. Well done, Azia. You've basically not doomed 3 of us. Oh, 100 people about to die. We're about to have to really drop down the group again. On the bright side, I do like watching the little lights go through the city. Look at them, just travelling along. It's really nice to see. And if we get more of these set up, in a couple of years after we've recovered from the losses, everything will be great. Yeah, we're about to hit a lot of losses, aren't we? It's officially happened. We're out of food and water. 16 years into the run, and we've run out of food and water again. Now, luckily, we're still growing berries over here, and we're growing mushrooms, but the mushrooms require cooking. So we have a little bit of food ongoing, and we have a little bit of water, a trickle. So at least 10 or so beavers, checks the notes, 6 or so beavers won't die. Although it's oh my god, this has already run out. It's getting dangerous. The number has just dropped to -14. We have very few people eating and drinking. So I am predicting about 50% casualties when the water hits. Things will start growing again, we'll gain a lot of food and water back, but I am easy predicting back down to 50 or 40 pop. I can turn buildings off, and I probably will have to. But until that point, we're going to keep building, growing, and expanding. See, we even have this floodgate nearly done. Didn't even realise they were building it. That's where all my goddamn planks are going. So we almost have this section done. See, just one piece missing. Oh, and it's done. We have completed the next section of the reservoir without me even noticing. I'll take that. Oh, cycle 16 begins. The water flows. It won't solve all of our issues, but it will solve some of them. We need a lot of explosives to be made to dig the depths deeper. How many beavers will survive? We have about 4 or 5 days to find out, and we probably will do extremely fast. Well, the numbers initially say, I'm still scrolling down, about 20 people have just died of thirst. So that's a good start, all in one day. So water is a slight problem. We are solving that problem momentarily, but yeah, looks like about 20 to 30 beavers immediately have died. No one's drank, no one's eaten. 50% was very conservative. No one is full of water or drink still, despite dozens of people working on water and drink. We've lost about 70 people in 3 days. 70 beavers have died in 3 days. And we're looking at another 20 to 30 beavers dying momentarily. I don't get it. We should have loads of people eating and drinking right about now, but no one's eating and no one's drinking. So I'm going to turn off every building and see what's left, because look at it. We have one person who's drank. We're down to 19 beavers. Why is no one drinking and eating? I have turned off every single building I can find, and we're going to see what's left and reappoint whoever's left to do some stuff. No buildings, 17 beavers. Activate that one, that one, that one. Okay, see? There should be 5 beavers doing water. That should be enough. Let's do 4 beavers doing the farmland. There we go. We'll have 1 beaver doing the gathering over there. They're still dying of thirst. We're down to 16 beavers. Gather faster. Okay, 14 beavers. How are 13 beavers left? All you have to do is eat and drink. That's literally the only jobs available, eating and drinking. So it's going great. We have literally dropped down to less than the first year. 12 beavers! This is how the humans felt when all they had left were their skyscrapers. But we have the water, we have the industry and the infrastructure. We can survive this, we just need to eat and drink. We're building up. Yeah, so cycle 16 and 17 may be the rebuilding phase of civilization. This has dropped badly. Oh my god. So that was bad. But, you know, they're eating and drinking again. And how is this also being poisoned? Like, this is meant to stop the poisoning? Maybe it's coming from this way. Either way, it's gone well. We've had to abandon the entire outer layer to survive. And that system we've been building up over years. But, you know, on the bright side, I showed you how good the tube ray was before we had to shut that down too, so 50-50. And while I'm at it, I'm going to use my research to unlock the excavator, so we can start building with dirt. Unlock the dirt blocks because we can use them. Let's go triple floodgate. Just going to unlock a few things so we can actually have some future stuff. Like, even stuff like suspension bridges. Let's get a few of those. But yeah, we're just waiting for civilization to rebuild again. It's really gone badly, hasn't it? Absolutely badly. I don't know if we're going to recover from this. 14 beavers, 3 babies, and there's a drought coming. Which doesn't literally bother us, because why would the drought bother us? We've got so much water for 14 beavers. Oh my god. I also think we can no longer keep growing children, so we are going to upgrade it to the advanced breeding pods. These do require extract, but I think we're just going to get a lot of extract and start growing pure adults. So let's get a couple of those up and running, if, you know, we had any builders left. I'm also going to start working on the tier system. So obviously water should be at the top, and so should certain foods. Then lesser foods, then obviously building is usually there, and then at this stage here we're usually at hauling. So I need to sort it out so that we actually have tiered systems. When everyone dies off, people don't just go, ah well, that's a problem, let's carry on making beer. I think initial building should be a neutral tier. Then we should have these guys at the almost lower tier, lower priority, because we need it. But it's not important if people start dying. Of course, then we have haulers at the very bottom at the lowest tier. Haulers are there if we have run out of everything else. Although I think we should have one hauling post at a higher priority to always have some haulers doing hauling. Without haulers, things take too long. And a 26-day drought has started. It's not going to stop us because we're still regrowing from nothing. It's been about 10 days. We're up to 34 adults and 13 children. I cannot, in fact, build the advanced breeding pod. Do you know why? Because the advanced breeding pod requires a tapper's shack, where we get juice from the trees. We don't have that. And also the wood workshop, which looks like this, and we don't have that either. So I've built this in preparation of expanding our industrial district even more uglily over here. Which means this two-bay station will soon become very important, because everything's going to flow from here to over here, somewhere to over here. so everything will soon be connected, although I imagine several more years will need to pass. But either way, the wood workshop is being put down there. Our first and maybe only wood... Oh my god, 40 years! Our first and maybe only wood workshop is being placed there, and we'll see how well it does. We also need the tapper's shack, which I'll be placing, I don't know, maybe up here where all the water has dried out. Why has all the water dried out? In fact, we'll build the tapper's shack over here because this water usually lasts for longer. So the tapper's shack will go down. The forester can almost reach this area, so we're just going to plant here, I guess. Down go the pines, all 6 of them, because that's all it can reach. Great. Yeah, that's literally going to have to work on that later with another forester's district. And the tapper's shack will gain the pine juice. And with the pine juice, we can make fancier pieces of wood. And with that, we can get fancier cloning systems. But for now, ironically, with all the tech literally like this over here and these things, it's way beyond us to simply paint a piece of wood. And while we are rebuilding civilization with 39 adults and 21 children, I said that weirdly, we are running out of metal. We've got only 150 scrap metal left. So there's now another road all the way over to here, because that's the closest piece of metal we can find. There is a mining system here we're going to have to dig to as well. Well, considering how far away these things are, I think we're going to build another one of these tube rays to over here. Only this time, we'll not let our people die before it's finished. So what I've done is build a very, very large tube which goes to here. We can then build more industry over here if need be. Then it'll connect and carry on going this way all the way over to that underground ruins. Because walking a long way is a problem. But even building this in our limited resources is going to be a problem. We have a lot of things to build and not much resources to do it. It's taken an entire 37 days, but back up to 90 beavers. We are still struggling to get all of our water and food production back online, but industry is currently running. Food and water are stable at best. We are holding on. We just need less accidents to happen. So more beavers join the workforce. We should have 20 active beavers ready at any one time because the hauling posts are available. So we're going to turn more deep water pumps on. This will allow us to get more water, although we did just run out as we speak, and more food. So yes, we are back to being active again. I tell you what, this place isn't a nice looking city because it's everywhere and horrible, but it is a city, and I am kind of enjoying the fact that there's piping slowly flowing out everywhere. If we get more piping at higher levels, I think it'd look cooler. So for this area, the piping will go up and across, which is why this happens. It's purely an aesthetic choice, just so you can see it while looking at the city. If I was building a better city, it'd all be underground where you can't see it. I just like pipes with lights going through them. Well, we're back up to nearly 100 beavers. I don't count children as people yet. We have a third tube-ray station active. I need to start bombing this area here, so I can put another tube-ray station over to this section, because this area needs love too. And obviously this area here still needs to be expanded. We're starting to cross over because we are running out of metal. So yeah, this is now the new stairway to nowhere. And I think it might be time to reactivate the mushrooms. And maybe this time the mushrooms won't betray us. Also, we're out of food again. Okay, let's turn the mushroom harvesting back on. Hopefully this time we'll actually get some mushrooms out of it, because I kind of like having mushrooms. They are on tier 4 rather than 5, so they work and don't require the most of things, because right now we are still farm based, but they are still quite high-ish priority. I've just realised if we keep flooding this area, we might eventually accidentally flood their housing. I may have to keep an eye, bad tide, I may have to keep an eye on that. I can't afford to flood the housing. I am noticing that our farmers have plenty of food, and they're the ones who are the hungriest. So again, the people gathering food aren't eating the food, and then they're wandering off to eat someone else's food. Seriously, that needs to be sorted before I stab one of them. Either way, water's going up, food's stabling at 20, and we should be good to go. We've survived Cycle 17. I've had to destroy a few buildings and move resources around. I've been completely redoing everything as much as I possibly can. My beavers are back up to an unhealthy, healthy amount, so there's a lot of them. As you can see, I've started moving all of my industry so it's all touching each other. Buildings can gain power from each other as long as they're touching some of these side pieces. See these little side connectors? Those are literal connectors. So we have a fermenter over here, finally turning mushrooms into fermented mushrooms. We actually have our wood workshop. We have 5 industrial lumber mills. We have another 2 being built here. We have storage next to this toothpaste station, which goes nowhere. But the industrial area is now very, very active. Of course, we don't have any metal. That completely ran out. And I'm trying to build as many explosives as possible to keep blowing holes in the floor. We're getting there. Obviously, we still have a huge amount of things we need to do. Food is on the rise. I spent a long time trying to sort that out. So we actually have, extra storage over here, storage over here. We even have huge amounts of pine resin. So we're now making treated planks. Just over here, I'm trying to connect another tube. Without metal, we can't. So our biggest, majorest priority is, of course, getting this bugger finished to here. Where we then have 8 of these gathering scrap metal. With that, we can continue building. And then we carry on expanding all the way over here to grab that. Yeah, so hopefully no droughts, floods, or me-related things. We'll have to see about that, because I'm still building literally everywhere. Some stuff has been deleted, but mostly it's in the place it was about a year ago. We might be able to get the road to nowhere done by the end of the cycle. I'm very hopeful for it. I think I deleted bits of it. We're still blowing holes inside our water storage. Food is now at a real comfortable 4k, which is still not enough, but it's doing better. And we actually have beavers who are sometimes not doing their job unless old age kicks in. So we actually now have a stable amount of beavers. Metal is such a high commodity now. We only have like 2 blocks. I think they were used. I even destroyed this over here because we didn't have any treated planks. So the advanced breeding pod I started rebuilding once we got planks didn't have any metal blocks. So it's going great. Good news, in 3 days' time a drought will happen. We haven't had one of those in a while. So once that's hit, we will be able to see how well we're doing. Now our population's way above 100. Under 70 we were fine, I'll be honest. Over 80 it becomes problematic. And 130 was where we had the critical collapse before. So either we're doing better, stop flooding my trees, or we're about to collapse once more. It's taken, because I've been doing it mostly this cycle, 14 or so days just to get here. Now a lot of my beavers are building along here as well, as you can see. They can't do much, but they are. But it's taken 14, maybe 15 days to finally have the flow of scrap metal back into my city. Now we've technically been out of metal for 3 years, because I don't count 20 pieces as much, but that's a long time. But with that, we can start building this entire row here, which is going to take forever, which means metal flows faster. So yeah, we're literally using metal to build metal to get metal, which is a metal apocalypse waiting to happen. Although again, we're not too far from the underground ruins, which we also need. And I think we need another station over here. So I might build a second, a 5th, 6th station just here. So we have one there, all the way over there. Our city is becoming super efficient to travel around, although steadily looking weirder. Yeah, I was correct. I do want a 2-brace station here so I can actually connect faster. It'll take still a long bit of time, but it should connect faster if I do this. So there we are. Put one here by the water. So I'll turn all of this into high, and this is highest. So now we have another 2-brace station there. Okay, good. I'm happier now. It still needs a lot of metal blocks, but I'm happier now. We have the entire network next to water, next to food, next to metal. And then we can connect to here and get wood. And with that, most of the basic blocks are done till we connect to here and get mushrooms, and here to get to industry. We are almost a fully integrated city. We're so close. Wow, with 4 days to go on the drought, we've actually completed both the 2-brace stations. We might even get a large chunk of the 2-brace itself set up. I was not expecting that. Considering the amount of issues we've had with beavers, I was genuinely expecting this to take at least 2 or so years. Apparently, the metal tube production is taking longer than the actual building the station, which is, I guess, kind of fair. It needs more metal. We aren't getting the scrap metal as fast as I'd like, because my beavers are only carrying 2 at a time. So once this is up and running, I'll be significantly happier. It's still a bit of a walk to over here, but less of a walk than all the way over here. It's going very, very slowly. We've officially survived into cycle 19. Not much of our plant work actually died because of the pits I've been digging everywhere. Obviously it's only a few days, but it looks to me like the industry is working. We have 4.3 thousand food, 2.7 thousand water. We completely ran out of water, so more pits will be dug. And the great metal farm is probably about 6 days away from completion, I'd say. Well, we're only about 10 pieces away, but because the scrap metal takes forever to get from there to there, it's going to be another 3 or 4 days. This final stretch of 10 is literally killing the entire economy. But luckily, see that beaver there? We are still getting it done. Oh, we're so close. Just 3 pieces, 2 pieces left. And cycle 19 days 7. Both pieces have been delivered. It just needs to be finished. And just like that, that final piece just there. Oh no, you sod! And there we are. It is finally active. All beavers travelling to and from this area. Look at that. Look at that speed difference. Obviously going to build one up there, be better. But you see that speed difference. Oh my god. So now we're going to connect it to this system. There we are. Oh, look at that. Up, grab, leave. Done. That is the scrap metal travelling. See that? That is almost instant compared to what they were doing. The material is now officially flowing better, and for some reason this constantly randomly flooding, we can start expanding the industry more, getting more of these advanced breeding pods online, because obviously the less time we need for people to be active, the less children we have. Should give us 160 beavers on average, which is a lot better. So we're going to get more advanced breeding pods active, get more active beavers at any one time. We can start expanding the farmlands, expanding the mushroom fields, which are still gathering mushrooms, and we are actively growing again. It took, what, 5 years from the crash? But we're doing it. Honestly, I'm so happy to see these lights moving from here to here. It's just so nice to see movement at that speed. And also, honestly, it's a very nice aesthetic seeing those lights move. Now, I know the folk tales, the other ones, get really nice, I think it's ski lifts, but I kind of like the tubes. Oh, and a drought's approaching in 3 days. We have 16 days of drought. We can survive that. Where were these when we had all the problems? Where were the easy droughts? But either way, I'm watching things build significantly. Of course, metal blocks are still our major problem. We made a 3rd item over here making metal blocks, but we are making metal. The metal age has been entered viciously. When did these 2 get built? Ignoring the fact that this area has been built and this over here is slowly but surely coming along. The skyscraper's coming along. It is 4 deep underground, so it's going to be a little bit of a while before we get up. But this is holding 137 beavers with another 97 spaces. In fact, 150 odd beavers. So this is a 250 beaver space with even more spaces being done. I was going to build one here, here, and here, which would be 1,000 beavers just at this level, which may be a few too many beavers, but I'm still bloody doing it. And ignoring all of that, the final reservoir, we haven't even touched, because honestly I still don't know what to do with it. Our main plan was building this into a massive farming / woodcutting area. But if you turn over to here, I've kind of done it with the main area. So what the hell do I do with this area? I am very uncertain. All I know is things are still progressing, the world is still going, and the city is actually finally coming along. We've connected this section to the rest of the section. We're now connecting this section to over here, which means we're now building 4 extra mushroom hydroponics farms. Purely because if we don't do that, we can't build the 2-way station on here. Then we have to build across to here, building another hydroponics mushroom farm, and then we go along to this way. So we are slowly but surely getting to where we need to be. It's just taking time. We are berry worrying. We need more berries, which is a problem. We might have to start growing berries. I have plans for that. We'll build them soon. I need to expand this entire reservoir over here. I need to expand this area over here. Everything is coming up well. We just always need more. Interestingly enough, we're actually running out of water a lot faster. It's only 16 days, but we're completely out here, and we're actually dropping significantly. And I blame, honestly, the massive mushroom farm now currently active. It's not the extra beavers, of which we have several more. It's the huge amounts of hydroponics currently running. Each one of these requires 45 water, like 40 water to grow 45 mushrooms. And obviously we're a bit low on mushrooms because we're not cooking that many over here. In fact, it's like 4 mushrooms for every 16 cooked. You could do a few more fermenters. But we're still spending hundreds of extra water every few days on loads of mushrooms. So it's getting interesting. And also, the two-way station is active. Yay! We're getting towards connecting here to the main network. The main bus is almost complete. It's the tail end of cycle 20. Yes, the city is coming along nicely. We even have all sorts of things like this, like an exercise plaza being built. But I'm also experimenting, as you can see over here, with an underground build. Basically, this is... I can blow 4 down, so it's 4 deep. If I built this, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 high. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, and then a 4th bit here. The 4th bit would be dirt. So I'm looking at doing an entire underwater reservoir system under the area. It would require destroying literally everything I've been building for the last couple of years. But maybe it's worth it. I'm also thinking I need to do more building work as well. So I've built this literally in front of here. I need to get the mines going further out to build a grand dam system along here. So this is stupid as well. And the problem with that is I've built it in the wrong bloody place and this is in the way. So I need to move that to there. So guys, remember how that looks? It needs to move. Future me used this for designs. Future me used this for designs. So with all of my hard work, which ironically took several hours to do, remove, you can carry on doing the mines. The mines are the future. So we're going to keep on doing up to here, and then have the dam, I guess, literally here. So now I need to blow that area up too. Maybe we'll build something temporary. Outside of the front stuff, I'm replacing every single one of these breeding pods with the advanced breeding pods. It requires extract. But back here, I'm making enough extract for bombs and also for adults. So we're destroying every single one of these and replace them with a more advanced version. We may bring children back in the future, but for now, only adults and maybe robots are our future. So with even more breeding pods put down, the advanced version is literally everywhere. Another 5 here and there, which gives us 11. That should be good enough. A few children still exist. We'll deal with them later. And the new year, new cycle begins. And look at all that movement. Beavers going everywhere, and almost the wood is connected. Taking a big zoom out section, you can see everything's going quite nicely. There's a few things we still need to work on. A few water pumps will probably have to destroy because we don't need them anymore. We're expanding water pumping over here. We're still destroying this area too to expand the depths. We're blowing up this area over here. More housing is coming online. Basically, what you see from this city is a lot of stuff is finally coming up pretty damn good. Multiple pathways out the front now exist. The bombs are still going down. I'm also building a pathway over here. I'd like to seal this area off and seal this area off. So only good water comes this way and bad water comes that way. It's temporarily permanent till the Great Dam begins. But the Great Dam is going to take time. Probably more than a few years. Probably a couple of decades. But you know, I'm optimistic. On the bright side, the last of the tube systems are now done. People, beavers mainly, can travel from here to anywhere in the system. And as you can see from all the little flashing lights going everywhere, they really do. So everything apart from this tube which goes to nowhere, and this teeny tiny bit of tube I built somewhere under here, or over there, wherever it is, now goes absolutely somewhere useful. We're going to start building more and more tube-way stations so everyone can get to places they need to. But I think it's going well. We're even building more batteries. Everything now officially works. I don't know where, but 4 of my beavers are unwell, which means they're contaminated. Now, I'm looking around. I am building more sections here and here. And I'm like, where are you getting poisoned? It might be this segment. I think they're going into the water here. But even this is clean. Where are they dying? Who's poisoning you? Tell me your secrets. Like, genuinely, where? Oh, I figured out where it was. They walked down this staircase to build the outside of this because it was quicker. They went over here to build there. Oh, you morons. Now I need a decon pod, which requires 100 horsepower to run. Oh, maybe I just let them all die. Oh, I'm going to save them. I'm building them both here. I'm going to save them. We've put 2 decon pods down. Maybe it will heal them. Maybe they won't die. We'll find out. But yeah, I'm going to save the Muppets from dying with decon chambers in the industrial sector. 19 days of bad tide have just happened. That's the longest bad tide ever. We might actually run out of water before the bad tide ends. That's madness. Also, we need more water storage, more water buildings, and more water explosions. But 19 days. We'll see what we can build in the meantime. We're still expanding the bomb area over here. we're still building the gravity thing over here, and we're still making more bombs in the explosives factory over here, with more factories on the way. Oh, and we've not built the decon chambers, so they're probably going to die. Ooh, the decontamination pods exist. Look at that. 2 of our beavers are slowly going down. They're but, well, one's below half, one's... Ooh, that's not good. And the other two might die. Now, they only can use it during work hours for whatever reason, but they are being powered. And because power, I checked it, is at about nearly 3,000, we now have even more engines being built over here. Yes, we need so many engines. We don't have the beavers anymore to keep powering everything. Because we've gone over to the adult standard, we're slightly behind. It takes, I don't know how long it takes actually. I think it takes maybe 5 days, 2 days, 3 days to build the average beaver. But because we're still building beavers and we're still making more things and construction is expanding across the map, I spread out as you can see, there's always more beavers needed. But on the bright side, our food is doing good and our water's doing good too. But yeah, we do need significantly more beavers, so we're going to keep on expanding onto that. Also, while I'm at it, I've not talked about it, we're expanding this dam system around the industrial area and also over here. So this reservoir can flow into here, and this one can be safe from these all dying off. I could just build barriers, but I refuse to do so. And with all of this, and all of this, and all of this, we can actually start working on the final reservoir, our original plan to be here. Do you remember that? It's getting harder to remember that, but I'm doing it regardless. I will also say this constant work is really doing problems on our workforce. We have 6 people here currently ill, with another 3 requiring beds. So we may need an actual medical bay. So I'm probably going to turn one of these into a medical bay, because we can't just have everyone being ill. That's insane. Another engine is now live. We have 5 engines. It's still not enough power. You may also have noticed I've had to dismantle most of the batteries to get those engines up and running. I'd rather have power running than power stored, because even with this we're at 2.3 and we need to be at about 2.7. So one more engine up and running, we should have enough. That does mean, however, we're using 6 logs every 5 hours, which doesn't sound like much, but then you consider we are literally deforesting the entire world, and the world just ran out of water. We should, however, be fine. Everything can last for at least 15 days. We have 3,000 water stored, and there's still enough water in the water pit, and we have 6.7 thousand food stored, including 1,000 mushrooms we can't eat, but can cook. I am going to have to expand the amount of fermenters. Oh, and one of our contaminated beavers has actually been cured, because there's not a death thing here, it's just old age. So one of... Oh, another one just went up. 2 of 4 have been cured of irradiation. We're doing better than humanity. We need more berries. I'm tired of this area killing our berries. I was trying to build a barrier, but I can't build one well. So instead I'm building another levee around this area. So this area will hopefully allow these berry bushes to stop dying to poison, while the bigger barrier continues to be built. Oh wait, we can't. There's a tree in the bloody way. They're not building because of a tree, seriously? So there's issues, I'll be honest. So we're literally setting up a cutting post just here to kill 1 tree. This is how well the beaver empire is going. Oh, what? I build you a staircase? You build it from there, you little sod. Cycle 23 has begun. Construction of this is finally ongoing because that 1 tree has been killed. It was already dead, now it's deader. We have carried on expanding. The great skyscraper is still going. The second one is now being built, and we've taken more territory across the river. We're still dynamiting. Everything is coming nicely and beavery. Ignore my outburst from earlier. And over at the front gate, we expand the hole in the floor. There we go. Being 4 deep. Look at you explode and drop. It does mean water's going to take a bit longer to get here, but I'm happy with how it looks. We've now got a swimming pool. That is a thing, but we've got one regardless. And I was building this up to here, but then I realised I can't build this here because I have a problem with this here. I need to seal this side off first, otherwise it floods this area and then I doom myself regardless. So what I'm going to do is, well, delete a little bit of it because I need to let some of this poison out the way. Then I'm going to build over here and build the sealed area here first. That way we can let good water here and bad water there. So then we don't have this area being flooded by poison from this side. So we'll end up with something which looks a little like this. One area over here allowing the bad water out. There we go. See, it closes below contamination 5. And this one closes above contamination 5. And there we go. The good and the bad will be released somewhere else. So this will allow us to get good water from one side. Something we probably should have done many, many years ago. And with that started, we can eventually seal off this area. Because then we can get this done, seal this bit off to here, and finally get this reservoir under our bloody control. Because the population is finally going insane on the industrial area, I have built another 6 fermenters. We're going to start turning mushrooms into actual food. Massive amounts of mushrooms, massive amounts of food. It does mean I just noticed my water supply is drastically low too, so now we need even more water pumps. I am slowly but surely building up the future, although I am kind of screwing up as well. But you know, 50-50. Honestly, the more jobs I need for more beavers, the more beavers we need. Just means more jobs for beavers. I'm in a catastrophic, I think a self-destructive loop of beavering for beavers to make beavers to supply beavers. The only way this ends is death or controlling the entire world. We'll soon see. But 2 more of these, 6 more of these. That should be enough. Also, we need to store the food as well. Ugh. And there we go. A very easily placed, in a completely normal way, a large warehouse for fermented mushrooms. I need to sort out this area, and this area, and this area. In fact, everything I've built over here, here, and here is an absolute mess. The only thing I actually like is the half-finished skyscraper and the skyway. The tubes I just absolutely love. But you know, onwards and upwards. And mostly our upwards is still building this over here before the next bad tide. Oh, great news, a bad tide's approaching. I'm nowhere near finished with this, and a bad tide's approaching. Finish this quickly. I don't care if it's just this section here. Bloody finish it faster. Despite the fact we need lots of food and water, because our food and water is low, I'm lower prioritizing them because we need to get the bad tide thing on one side vaguely done. I think at the very least this side here will have sealed out, so we won't have any bad tide coming this way. But we are going to have to stop it because bad tide will be coming this way, and I don't want my beavers to all start dying. We only have 2 decon chambers. Well, another 17 days of bad tide. It is, as you can see, a partial completion, so the red will go that way, but we aren't getting all the good this way. Some of the good will escape. We'll deal with that another time. So now we're back into dropping bombs, expanding our industry, building this massive area over here, and I think trying to get more of the water production up and running, because let's face it, we needs the water. And also food. It looks like the beavers down there are finally working on the 6 fermenters, which means fermented mushrooms for someone. Hopefully everyone, but we'll see about that one too. I've zoomed in a little bit. The fermenters are coming online. The first one over here. It is dark. I stared at this all day now. It's halfway through the day. Put the final log in. Come on, people. But in the bright darkness of the next day, there you go. Oh my god, that took so long. I think I've lost the will to live. But we now have our fermenters coming online, which means mushrooms are now on the menu. Oh, there we go. The mushrooms are being cooked at 68%. It stopped just as I started talking because it hates me. But we do have mushrooms being fermented. And fermented mushrooms are apparently a delicacy for beavers. I hate mushrooms, but they love them. And that means more mushrooms will enter the warehouse and more food will enter existence. We are going up on the food and the water, so everything is back in the balance. I don't want to be bad about our beavers' work ethics, but it took 0.3 days left of the cycle for them to finish this section off. Now, of course, it wasn't flooding, but now all the good water comes this way. I'm still working on this side. That'll take even longer, but as you can see, the good water comes this way now. This area is still being built. This area here is still being expanded upon over here. I'm going to build an underground area. I'm going to have to blow the entire hill up because I want to put farmland underneath it. And over here, I'm still expanding the bomb hole because the bomb hole requires more water because we keep running out. Yes, I said bomb hole, not anything else. And another station of the tube ray has gone up. We're always building something. Also, beaver numbers are aggressively getting up there, and we're still 24 beavers down. I know that is entirely all of our storage and hauling force, but that's a lot of beavers to still be down. That's insane numbers of beavers to still be down. We're growing, we're expanding, and we're in trouble water-wise. Oh, and also, we're building the dirt excavator over here. I had it turned off because I wanted to show you, but it's basically been here for a while. It's going to dig down and get us dirt. We're going to have to build it, 100 gears, 100 planks, 50 metal blocks. But soon, dirt will be used to build things. The reason I've kept the dirt in here is mostly an aesthetic choice. I could have built wood all the way down. It would have probably looked kind of cool and industrial. I just like dirt with the wood on top. But yes, soon dirt will be flowing into our world and we can start expanding, building and growing on top. Farmland, industrial, dirt. We can do it. Like that build I had, which I've already forgotten how to make it. I need to look at my own footage to find. I will say one thing. We still have 1,000 regular mushrooms and 1,000 fermented mushrooms. We may have gone over the top on mushroom production. We have enough food to feed the entirety of the city without anything in the water zone. So we're going to have to move that underground at some point, which as I showed you, I have not. I want to build it over here. But we need to blow up this area, which means more explosives, which means more bad water gathering. And we're struggling with that because we need more beavers doing hauling. But we also need 20 beavers doing building. We have a lot of beaver needs and not a lot of beaver usage. We need more beavers. Lots more beavers. Well, I made a mistake waiting to show you this when I started recording again because we don't have enough treated plants or gears in storage. This could take an entire year to build. Maybe cycle 24 is the year of pure industrial devastation. But for now, it's just a dream. We have everything else going on. We still have construction here. This is coming along nicely. We're low on wood. We're low on metals. Metals. There's some left over there, that's fine. We don't need to hit the mine just yet, but everything else is coming along. We have huge amounts of wood. We've got food literally everywhere. Maybe time to start devastating the landscape over here too. And we are still deconstructing the landscape. Honestly, it's going really well at last. It only took 23 years to get here. Look at that, though. The little lights going all around the city, just travelling from every single spot. I am enjoying this. I like seeing beavers moving. Although a lot seems to be dying of thirst down here. I love seeing little lights travelling across the map. It's just pretty awesome and I love it. Oh no! There's been an issue! Look at this! So apparently diverting all the water this way means we have too much water. I'm just going to have to turn this on. I have quite literally... Oh, we need more! I have flooded the world by doing this. Okay. Okay, I've learnt my lesson, game. I apologise. Is the water even going down? Is that just a new water level? There. It is going down. Good. Good. The release valve works. Look at that. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. So from what I'm learning from this is I may need to bump this up to a 2-layer defensive wall here and here. Or the dam may need to be built faster. Oh god, there's flooding in the lower area still. This is a nightmare. Why is there flooding in the lower area? Drop this down to 0.8. Let more of the water out. We need more stress release valves. We even flooded this section. Oh, we're still flooding this section. Okay, due to my unlimited incompetence, I've just turned this back on as well, so water's now flowing both directions. It's the only way I can release pressure until I get the dam operational. Oh my god, I have done so much damage. I've probably wasted 2 or 3 days of production, and I'm drowning our trees as we speak. Also, I'm killing some of our blueberry bushes, which we need for the next generation. It's gone great, guys. Absolutely glorious. However, what that does show is I can't finish this area off, because if I do, it's probably too high in this section, so we do need a dam. So I've learnt I shouldn't try and build a dam now, otherwise I'll kill everyone. That was good to find out, 23 years in. Well, I can't say much happened on cycle 23, if I'm brutally honest. The pit's bigger. And as you can tell from me being over here, nothing else happened. We might be able to finish this during the 16-day drought, the dirt excavator. We just need blanks. But yes, our grouping is getting more beavers. We are getting more water and more food, so that's fine. The pile of mushrooms never goes down. And we are still expanding. A-B-E, always be expanding. I tell you what, no matter what I'm doing, I do love explosions. The outer area is still expanding. It's killing my CPUs for some reason. But we are pushing further and further out. Glory be to this. So yeah, we're doing okay, I feel. We are out of water. Not this area, as you can see. But yeah, we are running low on water here. We're completely out of Badwater because of all the things I built dumbly. I never built an area to extract more Badwater source. I probably should do that now. So I have just built a quick little dumb thing here. So this Badwater source has some Badwater source in it. There we go. It won't be much, but it will be some. Perfect. Build this as a priority. It won't give us much extra Badwater, but it will give us some Badwater. Wow, 23 cycles in to realise I should have built a bloody dam. Oh no! I've been building so many bombs we're out of extract. The entirety of the beaver growth system has shut down. We should be okay for this one, but we may drop down. We almost hit 180. So yeah, we need to make more extract, so the extract growth system will be expanded by maybe another one. We are getting some more Badwater for it. We just need more extract, and also for me to stop building bombs. Am I building any more 3 bombs? I don't think I think it's all just 1 bombs. Yeah, all the 3 bombs are officially done for now because I can't keep spending the extract. We need more. So we're going to lose a few people. We just lost 5 people to old age. The population may have a bit of a problem. Oh, maybe I'll put the old breeding pods back. We'll just have some children for a bit. I can't believe I'm doing that. So there we are. Back to phase 1. Loads of the original breeding pod things are now back online. Oh, without the fact that our population is now rapidly decreasing, we'll get it back. The dirt excavator is online. Quite literally, a massive spiky fan of doom will go down to the ground until it hits bedrock, and then it will stop drilling bedrock but still keep giving us dirt. Every 6 dirt is a block. Look. Every 2 hours, 100% it will gain us just enough dirt for a brand new block we can build somewhere. We can now start hiding our underground adventure we have yet to even start. And there we go, if you watch it carefully, a block has disappeared. So we'll keep digging, grabbing us dirt and using 200 power. And we'll use that to build other places. Good, we now have a new building block which isn't just wood. Although I still like the wood aesthetic. And while the wood aesthetic is nice, all the breeding pods are active. We are filling in this gap over here, which is good. And we're slowly but surely building and building and building. What's next? The skyscraper needs a final layer to be added, which is fine. This skyscraper needs to be built. We have another large warehouse over here. And the farmlands stretch on forever. With all the construction still going on, I think it might be time to move this deep water pump here, because it's making this housing system look absolutely weird. Also, there's a connection across to this one now, if it ever gets built. So this deep water pump, while very useful, might be transferred over to here and used across this side. And there we go. The one very weird hole in the side of this building has now been completely sealed. And we can now finish off this edge. So there we are. That's the skyscraper. And it is officially active. I did that wrong. Officially active. I'm going to put another of these 2 brace stations up top in both of these towers so people can just go to the top and then travel across. I like the idea of high pipes. It will mean there's a small window into the soul of this building, but the pipework will go over to here, and then we have travel from here to here and everywhere else. I'm enjoying this. It's just getting weirder and weirder and harder to build. But I'm getting there, I feel. So it will look something like that, with space on the side for the pipe to carry on travelling. Maybe out here, along there, then down into there. But for now, this is the skyscrapers, the only officially confirmed permanent structures of my building empire. And I think they look good. Other people may have different opinions, but I like them. The one on the right is still vastly under construction, and it says we have 345 free beds. I think this one over here isn't even being touched. So these 2 alone are probably going to give us about 800 to 900 beds. Probably 1,000 beds. We have enough space for the entire Beaver Empire. I have to drop the entirety of the tube station down by 1 because it goes 3 up, not 2 up. So obviously it'd be a bit annoying when I built the rest of it. So now it's set down there, so it's a little bit lower, but it's still crossing up at a nice height. We can still carry on expanding this way. So the pipe system is active-ish. It doesn't go anywhere, but you now get to see my glorious plan and purpose. And while the skyscraper for hundreds of future beavers has been designed and basically being built, we've lost, 3 more just died, 20 beavers to old age. Now we do have 4 children, which will gain 10 children. In fact, the amount of children and the amount of adult beavers we'll be getting is probably going to be way too many. But we are boosting the population, which means a famine and a drought will be happening soon. But for now, food is good, the city is good, and I'm happy with what I've done for the first time in 3 cycles. Well, about nearly 30 beavers have died of old age. We are completely out of trees, so I'm chopping down the mangrove forest over here. Just needed more trees. So I do think we need more tree cutting down, because you can tell where we're growing them for food, and we have too many for food. I know once I start cutting them down, we won't have any for food. But for now, mangroves are being chopped the heck down because we have too many mushrooms. And we're so low on wood that I've had to turn off large amounts of the engines and large amounts of the industry. Which isn't too much of a problem, we're not using a lot of it, but it's just annoying that I've had to do that all over again. Luckily, we have a fair chunk of resources in storage because we're mainly just building these, so the 2 way station, as you just saw, is being built fast. So, good news, one of the skyscrapers is basically operational. 4 days into the cycle, beaver numbers are going back up. We have huge amount of extract flowing again. The power systems are back up to being all 4 gravity batteries have gone up nearly to the top. I am thinking, and this is very important, of blowing up the ground beneath them so they drop even further. It's 2,000 stored power every single block they drop. So dropping them a little bit more is an awful lot more power. So let's blow the ground up, because I love blowing things. Don't take that out of context. And while we're still expanding, it will take a while, I'm starting to build the massive upscale area for the tube piping. This tower here. As you can see, it looks intriguing. We have stuff at the lower levels. And up at the top, we have where the piping goes, along with the beaver statues. So things are starting to look good. And I like how it looks. For now, anyway. We'll keep on building, we'll keep on growing, and we'll see what we'll get done. But for now, not much is going to happen, because quite literally, it's all going to be pure production of building. It's year 25, as you can see. There's 20 days of this bad tide going. And I'm building the underwater area to store our water, as you can see. I've started building soil above it, and there appears to be an issue. You see all this water here? You see this? If I go into here, this might not be water. I think that patch there is non-water. I have now made an airlock for my beavers. I didn't want to, but I have. So I may have to rethink this and just not use soil, because that, I think, is because I'm using the experimental version. That'll probably get fixed, but for now, that's a problem. Outside of that, welcome to what the city looks like. I've changed how this is. You can see this one's still under construction. But now people can go from work to here to the entire city. We have skyscrapers. We have to do a huge amount of construction on this one. We have towers. We have little lights above them. We have beaver statues. I want to raise a little higher. The city is coming along. It's starting to look like an actual place where people would live in some of those weird dystopian cyberpunk pictures. Only it's beavers. See, I like this. People build weird. I build weird. And this is my style of weird. And I personally like it. Of course, it's just one small section. We have lots of space to expand, and I intend to. But this is the city. Also, it took 2 years. And I'll be honest, on the final day, I've put dozens of hours into this, thinking, watching, and doing nothing. We'll see how well the video comes out. I've put another 2 stations. One is here, and one is over here, just slowly building out this way. The mines are going in. And the water settled down for some reason over here, so the second section's being done. But you may notice we have 50 water left, and there's a day to go. We also have nearly 300 beavers, so I've turned off all the spawners, so they mostly die of old age. And we have another 3 dark or deep water pumps here. Basically, we are going to survive this, but I have caused yet another drought. So we're going to end the way we started, with a drought. And as we mosey over all of this, you see the farmland just goes on forever. A huge amount of trees have been cut down for wood, but we'll get some more. There is piping absolutely everywhere. We are getting a little bit low on the ruins, so we are going to have to push over to the underground ruins to get unlimited metal. That is the next stage, and I have begun multi-layer bombing this area. Basically, we don't have enough resources to do the triple bombs. I've been doing single bombs and just throwing layer after layer down. This is how we have even more water stored, even if it takes a little bit longer. Over to the right we have the industry, which is mostly powering down because again we don't have enough wood to run the engine. So farmland for the trees is important, and I see where most of the wood is gone. This area is almost sealed off. And back over here we have this. This is my pride and joy. It's starting to look pretty darn good. We have multiple tubeways connected, and we have huge amounts of towers, pipes, and living quarters. We even have the beginnings here of an underwater power conduit. This area here will be the pleasure tower. Stuff like the Motivarium Collide. It's a 5x5 and we're doing 6x whatever. But I'm going to start building stuff like this. Mud baths and things for my consumers. So they can come here and relax at the end of a nice hard day of work. Now we are out of water. But this has been the city. 25 years of living, existence and expansion. And God knows how many hours, I'm going to have to do a count, of running it. We never ever got to the final reservoir because I realised we don't really need it. What we needed was lower levels in this reservoir here, why the bombs are there. So I have been the fallen shogun. The city is expanded and grown, and 265 beavers currently live here despite many dying of old age. We did hit 300. If you want to see another 25 years, please tell me. Otherwise, you've seen the great city expand to this. I personally will be playing it in my private time because I love playing this game. Otherwise, take care, be awesome, be epic, be amazing, and I'll be seeing you sometime soon. Good luck. Goodbye.